Okay, so this is going to be a really quick video. I at first wasn't going to do a video. I was just going to put this on the shelf and that was it. But I figured if anybody deserves a video, without question, it's this guy. I was getting off work yesterday and saw that we actually had these in stock. As you can see, it is the George Carlin Commemorative Collection box set. It contains pretty much every, well, to my knowledge at least, every one of George Carlin's stand-up comedy specials. Anybody who knows me knows that I love George Carlin. In my mind, George Carlin was the funniest comedian that ever lived. He was a comedian that really knew how to make you laugh and think. So, one thing I wanna say though that I think is kind of weird is, no disrespect to Japan or Chinese or China. I don't know what kind of books those were, but I was not expecting a DVD collection with the DVD coming out of the slip on this side. I'm used to whenever you get a DVD collection, it comes out on this side. And when I first noticed that, it reminded me of those stupid anime comic books that everyone that I went to school with read. It was these comic books that you literally had to flip the back page open and then read the comic book backwards. Like I said, no disrespect to China or Japan, whichever one these comic books are from, but it's just not for me. But I thought it was funny that this DVD case kind of reminded me of that. And speaking of the DVD, everything it has on it, it has, like I said, pretty much to my knowledge, all of George Carlin's comedy specials from On Location, one of my all-time favorite comedy specials, George Carlin Again. Especially because that's the one that features the iconic performance of the 7 dirty words you're not allowed to say on television. George Carlin at Carnegie, George Carlin on Campus, Playing with Your Head, What Am I Doing in New Jersey, Doing It Again, Jammin' in New York. That's probably my second favorite comedy special from George Carlin. Back in Town, George Carlin, a little documentary, I think. It's George Carlin's 40 years of comedy. You Are All Diseased, Complaints and Grievances, That Life is Worth Losing, and It's Bad for You. That's another one that I think is funny, especially the very real jokes about people who want to show you pictures of their children. People who are obsessed with children and just cannot live without trying to shove pictures of their ugly ass children in your face. That is very true. That still happens to me. It also has a bunch of bonus stuff with it. It comes with the performance that was never released because George Carlin recorded it, I believe, 2 days before 9/11 happened, I think. And ironically, the title of the special was called I Kinda Like It When a Lot of People Die. So obviously he didn't release it for a while. It wasn't released. But it also comes with a Blu-ray version of Life is Worth Losing and It's Bad for You, which is cool because if you saw one of my last videos, I love Blu-rays. Personal favorites: George Carlin's Best Stuff, George on George, The Real George Carlin, 2 Hit for the Room, APT 2C, I don't know what that is. It also has some appearances from the CBS Talent Scouts in 1963, the Hollywood Palace 1966, the Jackie Gleason Show 1969, the Comedy Store 1999, and the Comedy and Magic Club of 2006. And there's also a booklet that contains liner notes written by one of my other favorite comedians, Patton Oswalt. For the actual DVDs themselves, first off, you get a DVD case that has a really young picture of George Carlin. At first, this almost doesn't really look like him, because you're so used to this version of George Carlin, the crotchety bastard version, which honestly is my favorite version of him, because him as a crotchety bastard just made his comedy that much funnier. On the inside, you can see all the discs, disc 1, disc 2. Disc 1 contains On Location and George Carlin again. Disc 2, Carlin at Carnegie, Carlin at On Campus, and Playing With Your Head. Disc 3, What Am I Doing in New Jersey? Doing It Again, Jamming in New York. Disc 4 is Back in Town, George Carlin's 40 Years of Comedy, You Are All Diseased. Disc 5, you get Complaints and Grievances, Life is Worth Losing, and It's Bad for You. And then disc 6 is a bonus disc, which has all George Carlin's appearances. The APT2C, The Real George Carlin, Carlin's Personal Favorites. Disc 7, you get the appearance from the Comedy Store in '99 and George Carlin's Best Stuff. Disc 9 is a CD. It's the I Kinda Like It When a Lot of People Die special. And then the final disc is a Blu-ray of Life is Worth Losing and It's Bad for You. So a 10-disc set of some of the most iconic performances, and very, very cheap price too. I only paid about $40 for this box set, which I thought was incredible. Like I said, other things that it comes with a little commemorative collection booklet that has a bunch of notes about George Carlin's different comedy specials and just stuff like that. It's really nice. And then there's also one more special item that I will show off now. As you can see, it came with a poster, which I really love. The Many Faces of George Carlin. This is the kind of stuff that whenever I get a box set of anything, if it comes with something like this, I instantly geek out and start acting like an excited 5-year-old child on Christmas. I just really think this is a very cool poster. So that's been my review of the George Carlin Commemorative Collection. If you're a fan of George Carlin, and like me, and you love watching him work, watching how funny this guy is, definitely go out and pick one of these box sets up. They're very, very cheap for what you get. 40 to 50 bucks, and you get 10 discs full of comedy specials, special features, and the bonus item. And that's been my review, and I'm Marty Mayhem. If you like the video, make sure to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for my next upload.
I was dancing with a woman, she told me she had a yeast infection. I said, well, bake me a fucking loaf of bread. A couple of corn muffins, a jelly donut, I don't give a shit. I'm always in the market for quality baked goods.